Hello Wargamers, it's me Cam from TableTopBanter, and in today's video I'm just going to go have a little hobby, and you guys can listen to me ramble on about a couple of things that are going on, and I'm going to paint a model, or maybe two, who knows. Okay, so we're on the nice camera, we're looking down, and I'm working on a couple of Dire Avengers at the moment, just layering up the white, nice and simple really, nothing too fancy. Got my super cute little wet palette, which is using my sister's tub that I took to uni. So hopefully this won't drag on too long. Ooh, starting to dry out a little bit. I am hoping to keep it at like 15-20 minutes because I am aware that not everyone has hours and hours to spend watching someone else paint a model. So first off, I've got to look for my white paint. So what am I going to talk about in today's video? Well, I'm going to talk about a couple of things in particular. Where I'm at with the hobby, how uni is going, and so forth. And well, that's about it really. That kind of stuff. So, hobby-wise, what models have I got left to paint? Well, you're looking at some of the last 10. Currently, I've got these 4 remaining Dire Avengers, who I'm going to base later on, because I want to get some nice element game bases that I have on my Guardians, but I haven't got around to ordering them yet for the Dire Avengers. So I will be working on that in the future. Getting hold of some of those. I'm just doing possibly the last coat of white on these now for their helmets. And then after that, I've just got some wood elves that need painting, and I'm done. So I basically need to go down to the shop, and I've realised that since I've started the hobby, there has not been a moment at which I have actually painted up all the models I own. That moment has almost been reached. I am a stone's throw away from potentially having no models to paint, which is a very scary realization. One that I have shared with a couple of friends, and they did not believe me, but I can assure you it is the case. So I'll be doing some, excuse me, some kind of army showcases at some point, I imagine, just to go over what I've painted really. Certainly for the Space Marines, because they are one of my nicer painted finished armies. At the moment, I'm just in sort of the base coat stage with this particular selection of models, so if it looks like I'm being super vague, don't panic. I go in and clean up because it's much quicker that way. I'm a bit lazy with painting. I don't like to make every brush stroke super detailed, because when I do that, it takes me 4 hours to paint a Space Marine, which is way too long. So I'd rather just get some base coats down, just call it a day after that. So I've just done the white for this guy, for example, and I think that was the last layer I needed to do as well. I will show you an example of the one I've already painted. Let me just pop that in the water. Hopefully it comes through okay on the camera. I haven't really used like this, so you can see this is what my Dire Avengers. Oh, come on now. Well, this is going well. It was focused a second ago, right? Come on. Sorry, this is really difficult because my screen has got a slight delay on it. So when I think I've got it right, it then just goes wandering off. Here we are. There we go. We can now... Oh, no, lost it. No, gonna not play ball, or are we gonna... Well, I think you could see clips of that, but I'm aware now that this moment of me failing is dragging on. So, yeah, that's the one I finished a little while ago. I'll just pop him over here, or down here, see if it likes a further distance shot. There you go. You can see a little bit of a Dire Avenger now. So that was the test model I did to kind of see if I could paint them properly. It turned out alright actually in the end. I was pretty pleased, if I'm honest, with the way he came out. A showcase video will be done when they're finished, obviously. Add it into the Runes of Fate playlist, along with my Guardians and Farseer and Wave Serpent. But yeah, it's a bit slow at the moment because the white takes forever to layer. I am currently on layer number 5, maybe 4. And I don't even use that kind of super thin down layer. I do thin my paints a little, but I know that there are people who thin them down way more, so they're doing like maybe 6, 7 coats of white, and I'm too lazy for that. I don't mind the odd bit of brushstroke in there because it's white and it's hard to do. I'm a bit lazy. I kind of want my models just painted. Yeah, that being said, I still take care over it and everything. I still love painting them. It's just that I'm the kind of painter that just wants to have them so I can put them on the table and so they look cool. I'm not too fussed about like I'm not to the level which it's just a 3 colours bare minimum. I do want them to look awesome. I just recognise that I don't really want to spend 50 hours painting a single model and be like, yeah, because then he doesn't have any friends. And you're looking at this one model, like, look how much time I spent on this. Where's the rest of the army? So what I tend to do is paint to a sort of tabletop standard. And if I want to go over it and cover up any bits I've made mistakes on or anything, I can go back and do it. But at the moment, I am just going over the whites because that is a colour I only really learned how to paint a short while ago. Well, specifically for these models. Before I was just doing a white and then black wash, and it looked horrific. And then I just stopped painting white and started painting greys, and it wasn't crisp enough. I wanted to get it right here. So for anyone who is interested, what I did for this particular model, I use a grey primer. It's the Halford's spray can primer, but it actually works surprisingly well. I know that Big Mac Danscar uses it, and yeah, it does. It actually goes down really smoothly. You don't have too many problems with it at all. And so that was my base coat, or my prime bit. And then I did Celestra Grey from the Citadel range. So most of the paints I use are Citadel, though I am starting to move my way across to Vallejo model colour because it's a bit cheaper. You get twice as much paint for half the price, pretty much. So I don't mind that too much. And whoops. And then I use the Vallejo White. So I love how they don't have fancy names for their model colour range. So yeah, I use the Vallejo White to go over that. Thin it down with a brush load of medium for a small drop, or a medium-sized drop, I don't know. And then just start applying lots of small layers. I am fairly new to sort of the wet palette game, it has to be said, but just this little one that I use for the couple of base coats I do made the world of difference, because I don't really paint a lot of models at one time. Like, I'll batch out maybe 10 guys, but I don't tend to do more than that. So really only the base coats need to go in there. The rest I just thin down and apply some, like with the highlights and whatever, I'll just thin it down in something like this, or, you know, that was from a brownie apple pie. Really nice, actually. But something small like that, just so that it doesn't sort of spill everywhere. Or I'll stick it on my palette, which is not with me right now, because it's getting very messy, so I don't tend to use it as much. But yeah, I've got to say, I'm really enjoying the painting at the moment. The reason I've gotten so much done lately, my girlfriend's on a cruise, and we do live together, so normally that would spell slightly less hobby time, because I'm spending more time with her. But because she's on this cruise, I have a bit more time to do the painting, and on that side of the hobbying in particular is often time consuming. So it has given me that opportunity to do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I miss her very much. It's not been an easy week, easy few days in fact. It's not even been a week yet. I'm crumbling. But the hobbying has been nice. It's been nice to get a bit more done. So that's the white all finished on these 5 Dire Avengers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wash my brush. I'm going to pause the camera, let it dry, and then continue in but a moment. Alright, so I am back. I just mixed myself a little bit of black. I say mixed. I put some thinner in some black because I'm going to now do the face plates for the Dire Avengers. But I wanted to make sure that everything was alright and I was all set up and ready to go. So, obviously I've spoken about the painting side. Let's talk a little bit about the other elements of hobbying. So, if I go quiet, it's because I'm trying to focus. I'm really, really bad with detailed work. What's been going on in the hobby in general? Well, I'm jumping into another game system. As you may notice, I'm putting up some 9th Age content, and a bit more of it as well, because it's really taken my interest. I've kind of grown to really enjoy the fantasy side of this war game, of this hobby, sorry. And it's nice that the thing I like about 9th Age is because it's community-led. There's no sort of, oh, here's a shock. The best unit in the game happens to be 50 quid. You know, it's done in the interest of the game, not in the interest of making money. And that is one thing that's I've really sort of enjoy about it. That and fantasy miniatures look awesome, so it's nice to have something a bit different. I was going to say from always painting power armor, but obviously right now I'm doing the Eldar. So yeah, I'm taking on sort of a nice lump of fantasy stuff with the Age of Sigmar and the 9th Age side by side. Hard to say if I have a favourite between the two at this stage, having not played too many games of each. But I do respect that they have different roles. So it's kind of like apples and oranges with those two games. I know a lot of people are very pro one and anti the other, or vice versa. But I honestly believe that you can play both systems with no problem at all, you know? At the end of the day, Age of Sigmar is a very casual game, played by very casual gamers. For those who just want to, you know, roll some dice and have a laugh with a buddy. And then your 9th Age is your way more sort of strategically challenging game, I think. But aside from that, I've actually got a game of 40k coming up in a couple of days. Again, with the girlfriend being away, it has granted me a little bit more time to sort of get a bit more hobbying. And I don't often play. Well, I say I don't often play games. When at university, I don't often because, like I said, I do live with her, so a lot of my time is spent with her, and for that I am very grateful, obviously. But it is nice to get a game in now and then. I'm playing 1500 points. I'm taking the Space Marines, so that'll be their first outing since I repainted them. And I'm taking a small Eldar Alliance, though not the Dire Avengers, because in my opinion they're not fully painted yet, so I don't want to take them. Because I tend to play only painted stuff. I'm not big on fielding unpainted things. It just doesn't agree with the kind of like fluff and visual side of the game that I really enjoy. Because, like I say, usually in my videos, I'm not a competitive player. I like to look at tactics and I like to see what cool stuff happens. But at the end of the day, it's a game. I want to have a good laugh. I want to roll some dice and make friends. I'm not the most socially I'm trying to like skilled individual, so having the opportunity to just make some friends with some similar interests never goes amiss. Okay, there we go. That's the black. Oh, the face is done. Got a bit of clean-up work, but I'll do that another time. So I'm gonna call it here for this video. I know it's really been quite short. I don't want these to be too long. I even set up a stopwatch because I knew that I would just end up rambling on for hours and hours. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try one more time. Here we go. The moment of truth. We can get it to work, I believe. Oh, it kind of half liked it for a second there. And no, it doesn't. So, if this is not worth the problem, like all the fuss. Okay, there we go. There was... I want to be able to say there is. Come on now. It does normally focus really well. I guess it's because I've zoomed in quite far, actually. And thou shalt focus. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold that right there. I'm going to grab the thing. Because I can control my webcam from my computer here. So I'm going to turn autofocus off. And we're going to just... There we go. Maybe back one notch. Here he is. You can finally see. This is my Dire Avenger. So that's what they're all going to look like eventually. The super white helms, highlighted up blue with a nice purple wash in the recesses. Not that you can see it, and that's kind of what I went for. I just wanted to darken the tone a little bit. And then nice. It's a very it is the aspect like host colours of the Dire Avengers. I actually managed to pick up this entire unit off eBay for like £3, so I was pretty pleased with that. But now I'm obviously going to go back to autofocus, let it do its own thing. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. Is this kind of thing you'd want to see more? I don't think I'll be doing them much more than 15-16 minutes because I don't want to bother you all to death. It's something, you know, kind of chilled out. It gives me a chance to get a bit of painting done. I tell you what's been going on with my week, etc. And we can all have a nice time. So don't forget to obviously check the 2 links in the description below for the Legion of Gamza Facebook page and the blog page. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching. It's been me, Callum, from TableTopBanter. Don't forget, have fun.